If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about something that I believe is wildly dangerous at the moment within men, especially men in our generation, is that I truly believe most men are living one life event away from pure destruction, okay? And I'll explain what I mean by that. We live in a world now where everyone wants everything today. Nobody wants to wait. You want to get in shape, you take steroids. If you want to look good, you go and buy... This is nuts, right guys? The other day I was like, I actually need a jumper. Like, you guys know me, I try to put all the money back in the business unless it's justified where I have to buy something. I was like, I'm bulking, I'm getting bigger, I don't have any jumpers that are fitting me. I'm going to go and buy a nice jumper, okay? When I was buying these clothes, I saw a finance option. You can do finance now on clothes, guys. Okay, so how many guys out there do you think every season are spending like, and by season I mean obviously winter, autumn, spring, summer, are spending like £400-500 on clothes and being like, oh, I'll just pay £50 a month. It was over 3 months, okay, so it's like £175-200, whatever, over 3 months so that I look good and whatnot. And when I saw that, I was like, God, I thought it was just like cars and people taking mortgages that they can't afford and whatever, and taking loans and whatnot. Taking finance to buy clothes. I think we've reached a new low. I think that is the start of the world's biggest shit show. Okay, there's like statistics out there that say stuff like, I mean, it's just top of my head, but it's like 90% of Americans only have something like £1,000 saved up. You know, in the UK, it was like similar figures or whatever. Like, it's fucking nuts. Like, people are literally living month to month. Even with big salaries, they're living like month to month. And I just think all of these guys in this era are just living so... Well, they're living so well, but it's such a terrible strategy. It's like... I don't want to bang on about it too much, but the last like couple months, I've brought in like 15,000 per month, okay? I've had a really good year with Mana, Sandcoin, Engine Coin, Ethereum flew up, and Solana Coin. You guys know that. All the videos are out there. 7 months ago, a year ago, that's when I made these videos. You can check on the channel. You can go and find them, okay? I've made a lot of money through these coins. I had money saved up anyway from a really good finance job in London. I've done, you know, really well. Like I said, I'm making like 15 grand a month at the moment, which is obviously great money. I don't have a car. I wear the same clothes. Like I said, I've bought one jumper and like, I think I bought a pair of gym shoes like in the last 3 months. Like, that's it. That's the only things I've spent my money on, okay? My bills are low as fuck. My bills are dirt cheap. My phone is... It's an Android phone with the whole back is cracked, it's smashed. I might as well prove it to you, right? I don't know if you can see. Look, the whole back is smashed. I've had that phone about 3 years. I don't intend to get another one. That phone costs me £12.99 per month. Look, I film stuff. I'm on social media all the time. I still don't need another phone. I saw an ad the other day for the new iPhone fucking 14, 15, whatever the next one is. Everyone's going crazy about it. What do you need it for? You got 16-year-old girls being like, I need the iPhone. You're like, what do you do though? What do you do? Are you a director? Are you connecting it to a drone like they show in the videos? Are you flying that around and filming big projects? Do you have social media accounts that have like 400,000 followers and you run your own business? Probably not, right? It's just, like, people are honestly living one life event away from destruction. And what I mean by this is people are over leveraged beyond belief. Like I said, I don't spend a lot of money. My bills are dirt cheap. I prioritize stuff like gym membership. I'll spend money into the business. You know, I just put 8,400 back into the supplements, okay? The supplements are now costing me about £1, £1.20 more per bottle. It's a choice I've made to improve the supplement again, which means that, I've had to put like 8,400 in to get the next batch coming through for like mid-January. I'm going to put like 2-3 grand into the boxers. I've just bought another batch of books. They won't be signed, but another batch of physical books. I'm going to put a ton more money into supplements in the summer, etc. Like, all the money will go into the business, might go into a new property that I'm looking at so that I can build a podcast studio in that property. It's like a real cool setup. I'm viewing it on Saturday, actually. Should be really cool. But all my money goes into the business. I'm not even thinking about getting a car. I'm not even considering getting, because this would be a rental property, right? I'm not even thinking about dropping a huge amount of money on a mortgage, which just wouldn't benefit me whatsoever, because unless it's just, you're not making money off that, okay? Even if you sell it in like 20 years, it's peanut change, okay? I'm not even thinking about dropping thousands on clothes. I'm not thinking about car on finance and all this other shit. I'm not thinking about going on holiday and whatever and over leveraging myself and getting a dog and all this other shit. It's like, I'm not buying the new iPhone. I'll keep that smashed screen. I'll keep it on the smashed back. I'm happy with that. Okay, it doesn't bother me. I don't feel insecure about it. I've just shown 56,000 people on my cracked screen, on my cracked phone, right? It doesn't bother me. But there's so many guys out there that have got a car on finance. They're buying clothes on finance. They're buying a new TV for Christmas on finance, a new sofa on finance, and they're just over leveraged to the fucking hills. They've got a mortgage they cannot afford, okay? And they're in a scenario where if they get their girlfriend pregnant by accident, they're fucked financially, because they're literally living on the edge. And I'm seeing this all the time. I'm seeing guys with 2,000-3,000 per month coming in. Let's say 3,000 per month. And they're spending, obviously post-tax, whatever, it might be left with like 2,300, but they've got like 2,300 that's their money. All their bills collectively and their lifestyle is like 2,200. And they call that savvy. I'm good with my money. I've got £100 spare every single month. That's 1,200 I'm saving per year. Pay for a holiday. That's not savvy. That's so fucking stupid. Because like I said, you add one child to that, you're financially fucked. Your girlfriend wants to get married, financially fucked. Your car goes through, like, gets some problems with it, financially fucked. That's how close these people are living. I have a rule which is a 10x rule. I know people like Jay-Z said if you can't buy it twice or 3 times or whatever it is, you can't afford it. My rule is if you can't buy it 10 times, you can't afford it. So the property that I'd be looking at to run a podcast, so it would benefit me financially because the channel would grow like fuck off the back of it, proper professional, like True Geordie type setup, this place is going to be like 1,500 per month. Well, if I'm earning 15 grand, it ties in, it fits into the bracket, okay? All my other bills are so low with the phone, no like Prime Video, no Netflix, no Spotify, which is the other fucking thing that people are doing, right? Well, then I can handle it. I can handle all the bills. People would say to me, hey, Chris, if you're making like 15 and that's going to go up and whatever, why don't you spend like 5 on a baller place? Like, that's a dumb decision. Okay? And if that's the way I'm handling my bills, that I'm looking at it and thinking, okay, 1,500 per month, and it's an office. So it's going to coincide as both. So actually it's more like 750 per month, but let's call it 1,500 per month. Well, the average rent in the UK is 1,000 to 1,100 per month. And I don't think the average person in the UK is making like 15 grand per month, okay? So you think, fuck me. And then I won't have a car because I'll be like, well, that's way too much money combined with that. Could I afford it? Comfortably. Will I do it? No. If I wanted like a 30 grand Range Rover, my logic would be have 300,000 in the bank, use 30, put it into that. However, it's going to take like 100 to 300,000 to fund the streaming platform to get it to the level that I want it to get to. Yeah, I'd rather put my money into that. That's longevity. I can drive a car in 3, 4, 5 years' time. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, but I'll go to the gym and I'll walk to the gym. Okay, I'll walk to the gym with my smashed phone and I just don't really care. Okay, I've got a camera that cost me 330 quid. Right, nothing over the top, nothing crazy. My gym clothes are just like cheap tank tops, like £5, £10. Doesn't bother me. I get to the gym and the car park's next to it. You get guys that are like 18 years old and they're pulling up in like a 10 grand car. Easy 10, 15 grand car. And they got it on finance, okay? They're paying like 400-500 a month. They've got a job as a builder, labourer. They're making 1,500 per month. They're like, yeah, at least with 1,000, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine right now, dickheads. You know, your iPhone for £100 per month and your car for like I said, £400-500 per month. It's fine right now because you live at home with mum and dad. What happens when you want to move out? You've only got £1,000 to spare. Is that going to go on your rent? So now what you left? Zero to eat? You've got no money to save. You're never getting out of the scenario you're in. And this is the danger, okay? I drew a chart years ago to keep myself sane. If I can find it, I'll bring it up on screen. It's like, you know, in your like photo roll, it goes back like 10 years. It's like one of the first photos I've ever have saved. So I think it's there. But it was a graph for the average person and entrepreneurs, okay? It's very similar to like, it's probably where I got the male advantage from. It's very similar to like the woman and the female and the male kind of timeline, how women peak early. It was almost like a 9-to-5 job. You peak early because you go into a 9-to-5 job and they give you like 18, 20, 25 grand out of the gate. Okay, it doesn't really matter what job you take. They're probably going to give you out of the gate if you're like 18. Now you're living at home with parents. So if you've got no bills to pay, you're just giving them a couple £100. That's almost like you're earning 35, 40,000 per year. Now you don't have kids, you don't have a car, you don't have ties and all that other shit. It feels like you're earning about 70, 80,000 per year. Okay, but as soon as you start adding stuff to that lifestyle, as soon as you start including new things, that money tumbles very, very quickly. And the trap that a lot of young men are falling into is because they're at home with parents, or because they don't have kids yet, or because they don't need marriage, mortgage, trips and stuff like that. They don't want adult shit yet. They don't want, like, for example, they can go into like JD Sports and buy a hoodie for like £20. It's fine. As you get older, it might be like a £200 leather jacket. Like, you'll want more adult shit. You're going to buy suits that are like £300-400 tailored. Your holidays are going to go from like 18 to 30s holiday in Magaluf, Ibiza. You know, I know Americans know where Ibiza is, or Cancun. They're going to go from those shitty little poxy cheap lads holidays, and you're going to want to go to like the Amalfi Coast, and it's going to cost you like £2,500 for the trip. Shit just goes up. Shit just scales, okay? In those early days, it's very easy to live at home with mum and dads and have like £1,000 spare from your tiny wages. It's easy to get that car on finance. It's easy to go out with the boys every weekend. As soon as you move into your own rented property, 700-800 per month, you're financially fucked. Okay, and this is how guys are living. They're living just away from their budget. It's like, I say budget, but it's their total earnings. They're like, I earn £2,000, I'm going to spend 1,800, and then I have 200 spare. It's like, if you're earning £2,000, your total bills should be like maximum. Ideally £200, probably not feasible. If you're at home with parents, maybe like that should be your scenario. But more feasibly, it just has to be under that 1,000 for like all of your bills if you're living on your own and whatnot, and you've got food, etc., travel. Just try and keep that under 1,000 so that you've got 1,000 every month for yourself. End of the year, 12 grand. You can do stuff with that. Okay, you could have put 3,000-4,000 into Soul, and now you'd have a fuck ton of money. You'd have like 40 grand if you had gone in when I said to go in. Okay, which I wouldn't say get a mortgage, but if that's your level of ambition, then that's where you could have gone with it, okay? But whatever you do with it, 40 is better than 4. Do you see where I'm coming from right here, guys? Like, and it's tough because a lot of guys say to me, but Chris, I want to look good now. I want the car now. I want to get pussy now while I'm young. Like, I want to, all these different things. I want to go on holiday. I don't want to miss out on my youth. It's just a sacrifice you're going to have to make because it's almost like the worst of two evils, okay? Now, I truly believe men peak in their 30s, 40s, etc. I think those years are 10 times better than your 20s because you've got more value. But by worst of two evils, what I mean is, would you rather be broke in your 20s and suffering and looking like shit and getting rejected, etc.? Or would you rather all of that in your 30s, 40s, like for the rest of your life you're broke? Like, which would you rather? Because I'd much rather suffer in my teens and 20s, not have anything, have a fuck ton of money in the bank and not be allowed to touch it, be bringing in 10 times more than the average fucking person. That's a bit of exaggeration. Be bringing in like 5-6 times more than the average person in the UK and still have the shittest stuff. I'd rather be in that scenario than be like 35 years old, broke, over-leveraged, financed up to the eyeballs, in massive debt, 7 loans hanging over you. You got a mortgage, you've got marriage, you've got 2 or 3 kids, you've got the bill for this, loans coming out, your phone bill's like 180 quid, you're paying for all this shit, and you're permanently stressed. A good test, okay, guys, is if your income stopped tomorrow or at the end of the month, how many months could you survive for? I want to call it like the 1STMAN test or the 1STMAN test or something. It's like the VRIN score and stuff like that. So it should be the 1STMAN score or whatever, the like financial score. Do that test on yourself, okay? Like I did this when I quit my 9-to-5 job and I went full time on this business. I was like, how many months can I survive if I bring in nothing? And the answer was like 5-6 years. So I was like, I'm good. Like I'll sort shit by then. I've got a lot of money. I'll be good. Now for the average person, it's about a month because their bills are so high. It's a dangerous place to be living. Like I said, you get your girlfriend pregnant by accident or a random girl pregnant by accident, financially fucked. Something goes wrong in your car, financially fucked. Your girlfriend wants to get married, which I don't recommend, but let's say you go ahead with it, financially fucked. You want to start a business, you take out a 10 grand loan, you're probably financially fucked if things go wrong. Like, try and stay well away from your budget, guys, okay? Like, I remember my old mentor was bringing in like 30 grand per month, which is kind of my next target. I want to get to there so that 3 grand per month. There's a penthouse that I've been looking at. It's around about that limit. That would make financial sense. That would be the podcast. It would be 2 floors up from the one I'm looking at on Saturday. Well, I'm looking at both, but the one that's feasible is 1.5. I think it just makes more sense, okay? But he was earning like 30 grand per month. And even to me now, I'm like, that's fucking crazy money. That's double what I'm earning now. My life's pretty fucking good. There's not a lot I can't execute on, okay? Well, when you think about that, let's throw this phone down here. It's smashed already. It doesn't matter, right, guys? When you think about that, okay, 30,000 per month. That's most people's yearly wage. He was probably spending like 2,000 of that per month on his bills. He didn't have a car. And when I was young, I was like, why don't you have a car? It's silly. Like, you can use it for this and that and whatever. He was like, what's the point? He was like, I can get everywhere. Like, my shop is here. I can get my food from here. Like, this is there. Like, he had everything he wanted, okay, within walking distance. He was like, I can get on a train. I can use the bus, whatever. Right, and I'm not saying to live like shit. And I'm certainly not saying to do this forever. Like, I've got plans once I turn 30, and I'm kind of putting them in place right now with this kind of apartment/podcast studio, so I can like up the levels now and really kick in. But once you get past 30, you can start like adding things in. But it's those kind of grind years in the early days. Like, are you willing, like I was, to be a 27, 28-year-old bum with shit clothes who cuts his own hair, cuts his own beards, doesn't look too good, you know, just makes sacrifices left, right, centre? Like, on the street, I probably look pretty broke. I probably look pretty poor to the average person, okay? It doesn't bother me. I'm not going to do it forever, but I would much rather... I'd much rather, like, have about... Let's say lowest ends, like let's say you've saved up 20,000. I'd much rather be looking broke but settled, you know, financially, just no stress. And you're using that like 20k to like execute on plans. You're moving forward all the time. Things are growing. You turn that 20 into like 200,000. You then turn that 200,000 by sacrificing again for like another 3-4 years, because shit will speed up, guys. Like 3 months ago, there were no supplements here. There was no book. There was no boxes in motion. Like, I didn't have SMP. Like, shit's moving quick now. It's like it takes like 1 or 2 months for your life to turn around. In another month's time, or 2 months' time, we could be hosting a big podcast in this new apartment with a new batch of supplements, the new batch of books, like a new clothing line coming out. Like, shit will move quickly as you get older, okay? Because this is what that money can facilitate. If you're willing to, probably the 2 greatest skills a man can have, patience, reinvestment. And reinvestment sounds easy, it's not. Once you start earning a lot of money, it's very difficult. Very fucking difficult. You got to be very disciplined, guys, to be like, okay, I've just earned 15,000, I'm going to put 12 back into the business. It's tough. Because you think to yourself, oh, imagine all the things I could do, all the holidays, the girls I could date, the sex I could be having, the new place that I could be living in. Everyone's going to think I'm the man. Let me go and get a new car. To put off on that and say, no, I'm going to turn the money that I've earned this year into 10x. And then I'm going to 10x that, and then I'm going to 10x that, right? And you will get to a point, because it moves so quickly, okay? It's the male compound effect. I described this to you guys before. From 21 to 29, you might not see any results. From 29 to 30, it might skyrocket, it might explode. There's just a compound effect of hard work over a long period of time. Eventually, as a catalyst, domino effects, you push the one at the front, everything falls over, okay? This seems to be what's happening in my life right now. I've seen this happen in a lot of guys' lives. That seems to be taking place, okay? Once you get to that position, you could then execute on whatever the fuck you want to execute on. If you wanted that car, if you wanted to get the mortgage, if you've always wanted to marry your dream woman, like, it's up to you at that point, right, guys? But my job and what I want to do is I want to pick you guys up at like 18 years old, any age, but I'm just saying, for example, like 18 years old, and just pluck you and just say, look, I'm just going to wrap you in bubble wrap. I'm going to make sure you don't make shitty decisions. I'm going to make sure you don't get distracted. I'm going to put blinkers on you, and I'm going to drop you at 29 years old, 30 years old, and I'm going to say, what do you think now? Look at this. Look at the scenario you're in now. How much better is your life about to be? Now go and live how you want to live. You know, now go and execute on these plans. It could be 35, it could be 40 that you end up doing that in. It depends when you start, okay? But best case scenario, I find you at 18, I pluck you, keep you away from all the bullshit, drop you at 29, 30 years old and go on then. Go and live your life. That's how I want, that's best case scenario. You've set yourself up perfectly. You're in shape, you're financially sound, you're protected, you've got a diversification of assets, you're invested in multiple projects, like, you're good. You know, you're not loaned up to the eyeballs, you're not over leveraged, you've not got 7 cars on finance and all this stupid shit, right? You've not got, like, you get people with like a 20 grand credit card bill where they've bought so many clothes. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. And it scares me. Like, when I was young, I used to look at it and think to myself, why have I got shit stuff and everyone else has got good stuff? Like, I feel negative, feel bad about myself. Like, it's touching on insecurities. Now that I'm 29, I look at it and I think, you fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. Like I said, when I was young, I used to be like, I got the shittest clothes. That guy's looking like a gangster. Oh, I don't have a car. That guy's got a car and he's got a beautiful woman sat next to him. He's killing it in life. Those same guys will have a baby and then sell that car. Those same guys, that woman will be like, look, I'm pregnant now. We're going to have to get a mortgage. He sells the car. He like invests in this new house that he doesn't want to live in. It's her choice, right? The woman always fucking decides. And then he's just living this life that he doesn't want to live. And he can't get out of it either because he's got no playing around money. And that's what I like to have, okay, guys? I like to have like 200,000-300,000 in storage. 15k, 20k, 30k. My, aim by the end of the year is 50 to 100k so that I can do the streaming platform. January next year. I can't wait to start filming for that. That's going to be my aim, to have that much money coming in with a shit ton of massive investments in place. Because one thing I've realized about crypto is if you want to make serious money, you have to put serious money in. Like, I was playing around with like 10, 20k accounts and I made very good money, but 50 to 100k accounts is where it's at, okay? That's how you can earn millions. Like, I've 10x'd 4 coins. That would have been like 4 million if I had like a 100k account, okay? That would have been fantastic. Well, you get what I mean, okay? Could have done that like 4 times on repeat. That's where I see like the future headed. That's where I want to get into, like these bigger fucking things. And you just got to use that money, guys. Don't over leverage yourself. Like I said, I'm seeing all these fucking people, trying to stunt. They're trying to win at 25. They're trying to lead at halftime, as Gary Vee says. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts. Like, and yeah, like, you might enjoy it for a while. You might be in the club stunting with your bottle of champagne and you're getting your dick sucked that night, and I'm at home looking like shit, typing away, working on the business. Who's got a better life? That guy needs to enjoy himself more. Yeah, great, buddy. But life's quite long. We're 29. We're 29. How much do you have in the bank? Oh, about 2,000. But I've got a nice car, nice suits, nice house. What? It's like, man, you're stressed up to the eyeballs. If we're going to do like the Sturmy test on you, the Sturmy financial test, how many months you got in the locker? 2. That guy might be able to survive for 2. So if he loses his job, if he doesn't find another one quick, he's fucked. He's going to have to start selling cars and assets and whatever. That's a shit show to be in, guys. And I'm seeing this all the time. I'm seeing this everywhere. Guys over leveraging themselves. Clothes on finance. What the fuck is that? If you can't afford it, guys, don't go for it. If you can't afford it 10 times over, don't even entertain it. That should always be your budget, okay? I've seen rules in the past of like, if you earn £10, reinvest 7, or like put 7 back into something, or save 7. Use 3 for your enjoyment. Mine's like 10 and 1. That's my rule. 10 and 1 ratio. If you earn 10 grand, you've got £1,000 to play with. That's your enjoyment money. You can do whatever you want with that. Keep the 9,000. If you earn 100 grand in a year, use the 10 to enjoy. That's a lot of money to enjoy. Okay, but everybody wants to stunt. Isn't that crazy though, guys? I'm saying to you, if you're earning 100 grand a year, and that's post-tax as well, okay? That's the way I would look at it. It's what you've actually got, not what's, like, forget tax, it's gone. It's not your money, okay? Post-tax, okay? If you've got 100 grand, I'm saying to you guys, with 10 grand, your rent would have to be like £700-800 per month. That's mental. Or if you were living at home or whatever, which I assume you wouldn't be at that point, but the car that you could get would be a pretty shitty one for £10,000. That's pretty nuts. Like 100 grand per year, in my opinion, you still got to live like shit. Just temporarily. Just so you can turn that into longevity money. Like 100 grand will burn out quick. Okay, really quick. You think if the average rent is like £1,000, you're burning through 12 grand per year just on rent. Never mind utilities, council tax. Never mind fuel for your car, insurance, MOT, services, you know, the price of the car itself. And then you've got things like shopping, travel, whatever. You're going to burn through about 30 grand a year just on those 3 things alone. Like, that's you're on your STMAN tests, about 3 years. If you've got 100 grand in the bank, about 3 years of life until you have to go and get like a job or something like that. That's not safe. That's not secure. We have to up where we're at. We have to make those sacrifices. Like I said, probably 99% of men are living one life event away from destruction. Self-destruction. That's the crazy thing. Take care of number 1 first. Take care of yourself, guys, okay? It's the whole point of the male advantage. You reinvest, you sacrifice those early years. The men who are willing, I put this in my book, right? The men who are willing to give up their teens and 20s in exchange for their 30s, 40s, and 50s will always win at life. Will always win. And you might have to push that up a bit. You know, you might need a little bit more patience. It might be teens, 20s, and early 30s. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what it is. I'm not saying you're going to hit 30 and life's going to be perfect, but if you use that as a scale where you just sacrifice those early years where everyone's spending money on stupid shit and over leveraging just for the sake of getting a blowjob because they've got a fucking Mercedes, you're going to have a great life if you can do that, okay, guys? If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio.